Welcome to the Cleaning and Sanitation course for Wannemacher Packaging, Van Wert.
Why do we do so much cleaning? One reason is that Wannemacher Packaging strives to maintain the cleanest facilities possible. This allows us to produce a very safe product. Keeping our facility clean also enhances team member safety. For example, keeping areas that are prone to wetness well mopped and dried eliminates slip hazards in the facility. Additionally, our processes are more efficient when the facility is clean and organized. We don't have to spend time looking for the items and equipment to perform our job or clean areas. Last of all, sanitation is always a primary focus of customer, regulatory, and third-party audits. Each area in the Wannemacher facility has color-coded sanitation equipment reserved for use in that area only. Equipment designated for food contact use is clearly labeled. If you are unsure what equipment to use for cleaning in your assigned area, be sure to ask your supervisor, a quality technician, or the quality manager. Team members should note the condition of any equipment they are using and notify the quality manager when it becomes worn or unusable. Equipment must be stored in the appropriate area, off of the floor with the wet end down on wall hooks. Hoses are wiped down on a routine basis and are kept off the floor by replacing on existing racks. In areas that are normally dry, wet floor signs must be used when the floors are wet from cleaning or processing. They must remain in place until the area is dry. Sanitation equipment must be cleaned following each use. By following these guidelines, we can keep our sanitation equipment in good condition and our facilities safe. Equipment is color-coded to prevent cross-contamination. For example, if we were to use a red scrub brush to scrub something in the oven area and proceeded to use that same red scrub brush to clean something in the filtration room, there's a chance that pathogenic material could contaminate the equipment and create a food safety hazard. We always want to segregate equipment so that they are only utilized in the intended area. The floor is dirty. Our shoes contact the floor. Anytime that we move from area to area, we move the dirt that is on the floor with us. We need to be careful where we are putting our feet. It is not acceptable to put our feet on pallets or on the framework of equipment. This is especially important in food contact areas such as ovens, filtration, and the packaging room. The open product is vulnerable in these areas. When there is honey on the floor in an area, remove as much of the honey as possible utilizing shovels and/or scrapers. Next, utilize a squeegee or a mop to remove sticky honey residue. Hoses are utilized only when absolutely necessary. If a hose is needed to remove honey from the floor, be very careful not to overspray and contaminate open product or equipment that may be in the area. When honey residue is removed from the floor utilizing a hose, make sure to clean up under equipment and avoid moving water under walls. Honey combined with water can produce unwanted bacteria in these hard to clean areas. When we are discussing the use of hoses and sprayers, it is important to note that these items are utilized only when absolutely necessary in order to prevent contamination of food contact equipment. The high-pressure hoses are never utilized when cleaning a drain. The high pressure has the potential to aerosolize dirt and microbes into the air. Once in the air, contaminants may land on walls, ceilings, piping, and other equipment or surfaces, contaminating them. Drains are the most contaminated areas in any room, which makes them hazardous to other surfaces. Trash containers in each area are checked frequently and emptied at least daily. All trash cans and recycling containers must be clearly marked, lined, covered, and cleaned. The buckets and containers used at Wannemacher Packaging are color coded to prevent any accidental contamination. Green buckets are always used for sanitation. Yellow buckets are utilized for rework honey. Red buckets are utilized for salvage honey. Black buckets are utilized for maintenance or waste. White buckets are generally used for packaging bulk finished product honey. White buckets are normally utilized for packaging bulk finished products. When utilized for bulk honey products, they should never be placed on the floor. White buckets may be utilized for other purposes, but must be labeled for their intended use. For example, there is a white bucket being utilized in the filtration room under the eye wash station to collect overflow. This white bucket is labeled as eye wash station so that everyone knows what it is used for. Once we complete a sanitation or other task that includes utilizing a bucket, the bucket is emptied, cleaned, rinsed, and placed upside down on a rack to dry. The buckets should be staggered in order to dry completely. When completely dry, the buckets may be stacked inside one another. Only chemicals approved for use in a food plant may be used in production areas. All chemicals must be approved before being used in the facility. The SOP for each task explains which chemical to use. Always use the right chemical for the job, especially since some chemicals will damage certain surfaces, and follow usage directions or ask a supervisor for clarification when you are unsure of how to use a chemical. All chemical containers and the equipment the chemical is used in must be labeled. This is done to prevent any dangerous chemical reactions. Chemicals are stored securely when not in use, and only authorized team members have access. Most tasks that you see on a checklist have a written procedure that describes the proper method to perform the task. Instructions for cleaning include the type of chemicals to use, the dilution of the chemicals, the sanitation equipment that is needed, any safety precautions, and step-by-step instructions. If you think you've identified a task that needs added or deleted to the schedule, please let your area supervisor know. They can evaluate the situation and make a recommendation that the task be changed. You may be assigned tasks by your area supervisor or the quality manager. Always sign off on the appropriate sanitation checklist as work is completed. The supervisor will verify the work, note any deficiencies found, and verify corrected deficiencies. By everyone working together to keep their area clean, we will not only keep our team members and food products safe, but will work in a place that we can all be proud of.